So, hi everyone, welcome back to Afro in Action. I'm Augustine. First of all, I want to thank you guys for the support that you keep showing me on my Facebook account, Afro in Action, and also on my YouTube account, which is Augustine Edu. That's my personal page, and also my other page is also Afro in Action on YouTube. So thank you for the support and the love that I keep getting. I really do appreciate you guys. And today I have a very interesting topic that I want to discuss with you guys. Who do you blame in a cheating fiasco? Are you going to blame your partner? Are you going to blame the person who stepped out of the committed relationship? Or are you going to blame the other person who came in and destroyed your relationship? And first of all, we all know it takes two to tango, so it also takes two to cheat. And what we have noticed, some of the facts that I got was that 90% of the women often blame the other woman instead of blaming their spouse. And it was very interesting because I would think that because men most of the time the one stepping out, it will be a high percentage. But my question is that why is it that women always blame the other woman? Some of the views were that the reason women blame the other one is because they are in denials. They don't want to believe that your partner actually cheated. They don't want to understand that it could happen, so they just feel like the other woman is at fault. And another reason will also be the other woman is a target. It's another female, so you don't want to feel like you're losing. You want to stand up and and confront the woman because we're two females together. When they're fighting, you have a better chance at winning that fight instead of confronting your spouse, which might be maybe your spouse is probably physically abusive and you don't want to confront him because well, you might end up in a hospital. So it's better to confront the other female. And another fact that I came across, which was very interesting, it happens a lot, is that the reason the other woman is attacked is because you probably know her. She might be your best friend, maybe a family member, or somebody you just know. So you feel like if you have that kind of relationship with her, she should know not to step in your relationship. It's true she will be at fault, but at the end of the day, your husband or your boyfriend is the one at fault, mainly, because he's the one who broke the law, wore the vows and stuff. Today, my guest is Mohammed. Welcome to Afro in Action. I'm really happy to have you.
Thank you.
And today I have a topic that I'm talking about, which is who do you blame in a cheating fiasco? Do you blame yourself? Let's say your partner cheated on you. Are you going to blame yourself? Are you going to blame your partner? Or are you going to blame the other person, the third person that's coming in? And the other questions that I did have is like, I went through some research on Madame Noir, and it says that 90% of women always blame the other woman. Do you have an opinion? Do you have a reason why they will actually go that way, or whichever? What do you think about that?
Okay, so if we go to the first question, I believe that the ultimate right thing to do is actually to blame the person that really cheated, because he knew that he's in a relationship and he just stepped out and chose to cheat. The problem, I think, that sometimes people actually blame themselves or the other person. It's out of they don't want to believe that their love or like the person that they are attached to did this very bad thing. So they go and try to find reasons that are not the real reason. I think the only real reason in this thing that there was a person that didn't respect the relationship, and then that's why he got out of it.
Okay.
And if I go to your second question, why 90% of especially women try to blame the other women? I think women are more emotional, and they are more, when they are in a relationship, they are really more loyal and try to make it work as much as possible.
Okay.
Other than men, they are less emotional, so they can actually go and cheat and come back and just don't feel that they did anything that will stop their life.
Okay.
So when that happens, the first thing that women try to do is they will try to think all other ways to make it work again. other than going and blaming the partner and stop the relationship. But I think if they sit down with themselves and try to think clearly,
Okay.
they have to get out of that person, because I believe that if you cheated once, you can do that again and again and again.
Okay. So you mentioned that some people tend to blame themselves when their spouse step out of the relationship. Why would a man blame himself if his girlfriend or wife stepped out and cheated?
So like some men and women, it's like a type of personality
Okay.
that they will always think that they have done something wrong. Maybe because they didn't have a lot of experience in relationships before.
Okay.
Maybe they know. Maybe they actually have been asked to do stuff and they just ignored that or didn't respond. So they will end up and think, hey, if I have done this or if I have thought about this, this wouldn't have happened. But again, I don't see a reason of cheating, because if you reach a point that you feel you cannot go with your partner, or like your problems can go on, the best thing to do is just to break up and do
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, I do agree with a couple of points that you made. People blaming themselves when your spouse stepped out of the relationship. I would not, personally, I cannot blame myself. I know some people will feel like they might have done something wrong. Maybe it's there's something that they're not doing, and that's why the person went out. Personally, I feel like if you're cheating, you are the one with the problem, not me. And I feel like if there's a problem, I would rather you communicate with me so we can figure it out before you stepped out. And if I feel like we can't work things out, then we can go separate ways and you can live your life. What would you say about that?
I totally agree with you. I'm trying just to mention things that I have seen
Mm-hmm.
from other people around me.
Okay.
And actually, another very interesting thing that just came into my mind, that sometimes your culture or your society forces you to think like in a direction or in a way. Like if
Okay.
you talk about like the Western world, where like every individual is responsible for his life, it's more of like people right away will say, okay, you cheated, you're out, you're to be blamed. But
Okay.
other societies that care about like family, they will actually go and advise the woman to try to forget about it, or the man, just forget about it and complete your life and try to move on. But my point of view, I think if the trust is broken once, it's very, very, very hard to build it again, because
Sure.
like you will always be thinking that, okay, he's late, he's cheating, he didn't came at the right time, he's cheating. So
Okay.
it's always a break point. Like you can't go back.
Okay. Well, when it comes to a woman blaming the other woman, I have different point of views when it comes to that. I feel like when he stepped out of the relationship and he does things out there. The reason I will blame the other women is if I'm 100% sure that she was aware of him being in a relationship. But if you know he's involved with someone, why would you want to step out? Why would you want to go in that relationship and ruin what they have? You are women too, so imagine somebody coming in your relationship and breaking you apart. How would you feel? That's the only point, the only way I will always blame the women, and the other women, of course. But at the end of the day, the man, if my man step out of the relationship, I have to blame him first because he's the one committed to me. She is not committed to me. She has nothing. She does not owes me anything. So at the end of the day, I have to blame him. But if she's aware of him being involved with me, then I will blame him first. Because I mean, there's a saying that says that if you buy a stolen item, you are just as guilty as the person who stole that item.
Like I'll tell you something that from my own experience.
Okay.
I at one point in time, I was dating somebody, and like our relationship, it was not like really cheating, but it was somebody that came into her life,
Okay.
and it was the reason that we ended. At the beginning, that when I knew that, I actually started blaming that other guy. Like, hey,
Okay.
he knew that she's in a relationship. What's going on? But then when I sit down and clearly thought, I think he has no responsibility into this relationship. He's just a guy that found out that some other person that is willing to be with him. Like, I don't know how what was said and what was promised between them, but
Okay.
like very famous promises like, okay, I'm gonna leave her, I don't love her anymore, or whatever, which is a legitimate thing if that's is actually what's happening.
Okay.
So I think you have always to blame the cheater because he is the one with the whole story. He's the one with the keys. That other person outside of that, yeah, I may think that he's unethical guy or whatever, but I cannot put like a lot of blame on him or her because, as I told you, finally he doesn't own anything. He doesn't. He's just an outsider that was brought into this relationship
Okay.
because that other person actually let it happen.
Okay. So, okay, I was saying that I do have another question for you. Let's say you are the other guy and you know she is in a relationship. Would you pursue it if she keeps coming to you?
Actually, for me, I don't think I'll pursue it all the way. Like if, like there's two different situations. If you meet a person that is saying, "Hey, I'm in a very very bad relationship, and I think we will be breaking up," and okay, I'm trying to see my options, then this is something that I will think about it. But I want to make sure before having any commitment with her that this other relationship is out, and that's actually will help our new relationship to develop.
Okay.
But if I know that there is a person that she's having a nice life and there is nothing big and she's not breaking up with anybody, I don't think I will ever think, okay, let me pursue that and get into that. But from an ethical point of view, I don't think this is something that you as a person morally should do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your opinions, and I agree with some of the points that you made. And I'll just say to my audience that, well, give me your opinion. Share probably personal experience or general experience, general thought. What would you do if your partner step out of the your relationship? Are you going to blame your partner, or are you going to blame the third person who came in and destroyed your relationship? And why would you do that? And to close the show today, I'm just going to advise you that don't ever blame yourself, because I don't think you did anything wrong. And even if you did something wrong, your partner owes it to you to communicate with you, talk to you. And if you guys cannot work things out, then you can go separate ways and they will be free to live their life. And again, this was Augustine with my guest today, which was Mohammed. And I thank you guys for the support. And also, you can go to my Facebook account, Afro in Action, or Augustine Edo, on my YouTube account, which is Afro in Action, and Augustine Edo as well. I have two accounts. And on Twitter, it's either Afro in Action or Miss Dynamic. So either way, I will always stay in touch with you guys, and I will always appreciate the love that you show. It has been a presentation of Augustine, again, with Afro in Action. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.